Where does one start when they're trying to sum up the beast we call Zork? Maybe calling it a beast, because that's exactly what it was, a huge and very ambitious undertaking. And I do not claim this part lightly, as it was so large it had to be broken into 3 separate but interlinked parts. One could easily teach a 12-week college course on Zork, and so I'm really at a loss as to how to condense the essentials into a couple of minutes. What I can say is everyone knows something about Zork, even if they do not know that is where it came from. It was inspired by the original IFTA, Colossal Cave Adventure. It was written over a period of years, 1977 through 1979, to be played on a DEC PDP-10 coded by 4 men, Tim Anderson, Mark Blanc, Bruce Daniels, and Dave Libling. Many of you may be wondering, what exactly is a Zork? And let me assure you, that's a fine question. After all, while most of the games we've played together, with the exception of Xenos to be precise, have all had something in common with their name, which leads the player to understand what exactly they're getting into. But this was not always the case, and knowing a little bit more about the history may make more sense. Zork was not always known as Zork. In fact, for a little while it was known as Dungeon. But before that, while being coded, it was known by a generic term used at MIT for any program that was not yet complete. A nonsense word, and that word was Zork. But when it was initially released, the name was changed to Dungeon, a fitting yet very generic word. Fortunately, another company, TSR, the makers of Dungeons & Dragons as well as the board game Dungeon, came after Infocom, who agreed to change the name. Lacking another name, they reverted to a unique and very catchy name, Zork. The first microcomputer it was ported to was the TRS-80 Model 1 in 1980, and even though it was written by a fledgling company, Infocom, it was marketed by Personal Software. Their version was referred to as Barbarian ZORK, for obvious reasons. It required the machine to have 32K of RAM and at least 1 floppy disk drive. In 1981, it was ported over to the Apple II, but due to a lack of commitment to meeting certain obligations, Infocom grew dissatisfied with Personal Software, and by October of that year, they decided to market the game under their name themselves. It would not be very fetched to say, if it has a way to plug into the wall for power, or it plugs into something that plugs into the wall for power, it has a port of Zork written for it. Starting with mainframes, and then to other devices, I could spend hours just listing all of them, and I would still miss some. There has even been a version released on Amazon Alexa Echo that is voice controlled. But I deal in microcomputers here, which means we're only concerned with the ports released on the TRS-80 and its peers. With this in mind, we're going to play Zork 1 together on a TRS-80 Model 1. We'll be using the Personal Software version for what I hope are obvious reasons. And as we play through it together, you should notice some of it will play very much like how our trip through Mini Zork went. However, most of it will be an exciting new path with additional puzzles, hazards, and such, which we are going to face together. Now you will notice the first thing is I have booted this into TRS-DOSK Disoperating System 2.3, but we are going to remove the TRS-DOS disk and put the Zork disk into drive 0, which means we now hit reset and we wait for the game to boot itself up. Now, I should warn you, as with all of my previous run-throughs, I make a script of how I want to do this, and I'm going to mostly follow the script. However, it has been at least 8 months since I solved Zork 1, and I have since done Zork 2 and Zork 3, and I want to stay mostly in tune with what this script says. However, there may be little nuances that I did not document that I may have forgotten, and therefore we may run into some glitches here and there in my method of approach, and I hope that is okay with you. We're doing this on the TRS-80 Model 1. Here we go. Zork, the Great Underground Empire, copyright 1982 by Infocom Inc., all rights reserved. Licensed to Tandy Corporation, Zork is a trademark of Infocom Inc. Release 25, serial number 820515. That is May 15th, 1982. West of house. You are standing in an open field west of a White House with a boarded front door. there is a small mailbox here. So our first object is to get inside the house, but on the way we want to open the mailbox and have a look inside. Opening the mailbox reveals a leaflet. So I could get the leaflet, then read the leaflet and drop the leaflet, but instead I am going to read the leaflet, which will get the leaflet in the process. Welcome to ZORK. ZORK is a game of adventure, danger, and low cunning. In it you will explore some of the most amazing territory ever seen by mortals. No TRS-80 should be without one. Copyright 1982, Infocom Inc., all rights reserved. Licensed to Tandy Corporation. ZORK is a trademark of Infocom Inc. We do not need the leaflet anymore. Actually, let's see what happens if we put leaflet in mailbox so that we're not littering. Leaflet is now in the mailbox. Let's close the mailbox. Mailbox is now closed. Now we have not littered. We're good people. In order to get inside the house, we need to go south. We are now south of the house. We're facing the south side of a white house. There is no door here. All the windows are boarded. Let's go east. Behind the house. You are behind the white house. A path leads into the forest to the east. In one corner of the house, there is a small window which is slightly ajar. Let's open the window. With great effort, you open the window far enough to allow entry and enter the house. Kitchen. You are in the kitchen of the White House. A table seems to have been used recently for the preparation of food. A passage leads to the west, and a dark staircase can be seen leading upward. A dark chimney leads down, and to the east is a small window which is open. On the table is an elongated brown sack smelling of hot peppers. A bottle is sitting on the table. The glass bottle contains a quantity of water. Now I'm going to call your attention for a moment. At the top bar there is a section that says Room Kitchen that tells us where we are. There's a score, and we get points for certain actions, and moves. That's to track how many moves you have made. And normally I would be going for as few moves as possible, but since I am going to be partially exploring options with you as we're doing the game, the number is going to be more than it needs to be in order to complete the game. And I want you to know that in advance, that it is possible to do the game with a lot less moves than we will make. Now, you will notice that on the table is items that have been used which were done recently for the preparation of food. We will never meet who it is who is doing this, but they will provide an inconvenience to us, which I will explain in a little bit. What we want to do is go west into the living room. We are in the living room. There's a door to the east, a wooden door with a strange Gothic lettering to the west, which appears to be nailed shut. A trophy case and a large oriental rug in the center of the room. Above the trophy case hangs an elvish sword of great antiquity. A brass-powered lantern is on the trophy case. We want to get the lantern, or I'm going to call it the lamp. Less keystrokes that way. Taken. Then we're going to head back east where we just came from, the kitchen. And now we are going to light the lamp, and we're going to go up in the attic. This is the attic. The only exit is a stairway leading down. On the table is a nasty-looking knife. A large coil of rope is lying in the corner. We want to get the knife and the rope. Now I could say get knife and then get rope, but the Infocom parser, the ZORK implementation language, is much more robust than the languages we're used to using, and therefore we can combine actions together into one. Now let's head back down, and because the lamp has a limited number of uses, we want to turn the lamp off for a moment while we do a few things. The lamp is now off, and we're going to put the knife on the table. The reason for this is we're not going to need it just yet. So let's put it somewhere where it is out of the way and not clogging up our inventory. Now we want to go west, back to the living room, and here we're going to drop the rope, and then we need to move the rug. With great effort, the rug is moved to one side of the room. With the rug moved, the dusty cover of a closed trapdoor appears. Open the trapdoor. I do not know the word ope. Open trapdoor. The door reluctantly opens to reveal a rickety staircase descending into the darkness. Now let's light our lamp again. And now we will go down. The trapdoor crashes shut and you hear someone barring it. Cellar. You are in a dark and damp cellar with a narrow passageway leading north and a crawlway to the south. On the west is the bottom of a steep metal ramp which is unclimbable. When I mentioned earlier that there's evidence of somebody being here that will be an inconvenience to us, this is the somebody, the one who closed the trapdoor, barring it shut. Now there is a method I could use to go and open up the trapdoor, but I'm not going to go and do that because I feel like it's important for you to get a feel for the game without having that shortcut. Makes us explore the map a little bit more. You will also notice that I left the sword alone for now, and a lot of the work that I did early on in the game, especially when I did Mini Zork, the first thing I did was I went and killed the troll. But we're going to delay that for a minute while we get the painting. So let's go south. East of Chasm, you're at the east end of Chasm, the bottom of which cannot be seen. The west side is sheer rock, providing no exits. A narrow passage goes to the north, and the path you are on continues to the east. Let's go east. Gallery. This is an art gallery. Most of the paintings which were here have been stolen by vandals with exceptional taste. The vandals have left through either the north or west exits. Fortunately, there is still one chance for you to be a vandal, for on the far wall is a painting of unparalleled beauty. So we want to get the painting taken, and then we want to head north. Studio. This is what appears to have been an artist's studio. The walls and floors are splattered with paints of 69 different colors. Strangely enough, nothing of value is hanging here. At the south end of the room is an open door, also covered with paint. An extremely dark and narrow chimney leads up from the fireplace. Although you might be able to get up it, it seems unlikely you could get back down. Loosely attached to the wall is a small piece of paper. So let's read the paper. Congratulations, you are the privileged owner of a genuine Zork, the great underground empire, a self-contained and self-maintaining universe. If used and maintained in accordance with normal operating practices for small universes, Zork will provide many months of trouble-free operation. Well, look at this. It's provided decades. Now let's drop the paper, because where we are going, you can only go if you are carrying 2 items or less. And check our inventory. We are carrying 2 items, a painting and a lamp. So let's go up the chimney. We are now in the kitchen again. And from here we go west, because this is where the living room is, and remember there's a trophy case. We want to open the case. And then we want to put painting in the case. Done. Now we want to get the sword and the rope. The sword is taken, the rope is taken, and then we open the trapdoor again. And and we go down. The trapdoor crashes shut and you hear someone barring it. The sword is glowing with a faint blue glow. In classic dungeon delving technology, a faint blue glow of a sword means that there is danger nearby. And this is no exception. We are going to be heading north, which will put us in the troll room. This is a small room with passages to the east and south and a foreboding hole leading west. Bloodstains and deep scratches, perhaps made by an axe, mar the walls. A nasty-looking troll brandishing a bloody axe blocks all passages out of the room. Your sword has begun to glow very brightly. So the troll is what is causing the sword to glow. When I did this with Mini ZORK, I used the following command. Kill troll with sword. And we're going to continue doing this. The fatal blow strikes the troll square in the heart. He dies. Almost as soon as the troll breathes his last breath, a cloud of sinister black fog envelops him, and when the fog lifts, the carcass has disappeared. Your sword is no longer glowing. So now we no longer need the sword. So let's drop the sword. A lean and hungry gentleman just wandered through carrying a large bag. Finding nothing of value, he left disgruntled. You are going to not like him if you run into him at certain times. So let's go east. This is an east-west passage. It's a narrow east-west passageway. There is a narrow stairway leading down at the north end of the room. We're going to go east again to the round room. This is a circular stone room with passages in all directions. Several of them have unfortunately been blocked in by cave-in. So let's go southeast. The Engravings Cave. You have entered a low cave with passages heading northwest and east. There are old engravings on the walls here. Let's go east again. Dome room. You're at the periphery of a large dome, which forms the ceiling of another room below. Protecting you from the precipitous drop is a wooden railing which circles the dome. Now remember that rope that we're carrying? We want to tie rope to the railing. The rope drops over the side and comes within 10 feet of the floor. Let's climb down the rope. Torch room. This is a large room with a prominent doorway leading to a down staircase. Above you is a large dome. Up around the edge of the dome, 20 feet up, is a wooden railing. In the center of the room, there is a white marble pedestal. A piece of rope descends from the railing above, ending some 5 feet above your head. Sitting on the pedestal is a flaming torch made of ivory. We are not going to get the torch just yet. Instead, we are going to go south to the temple. This is the north end of a large temple. On the east wall is an ancient inscription, probably a prayer in a long-forgotten language. Below the prayer is a staircase leading down. The west wall is solid granite. The exit to the north of the room is through huge marble pillars. There is a small brass bell here. We are going to go east. The Egyptian room. This is a room which looks like an Egyptian tomb. There is an ascending staircase to the west. The solid gold coffin used for the burial of Ramesses II is here. Let's get the coffin. This must be very heavy. We are now going to go west. So we are back in the temple, and then we will go south. This is an altar. This is the south end of a large temple. In front of you is what appears to be an altar. In one corner is a small hole in the floor which leads into darkness. You probably could not get back up it. On the two ends of the altar are burning candles. On the altar is a large black book open to page 569. Now we want to pray because we are at an altar. Forest. This is a forest with trees in all directions around you. To the east there appears to be sunlight. You hear in the distance the chirping of a songbird. We want to extinguish the lamp. The lamp is now off. And we're going to go south. The forest. This is a dimly lit forest with large trees all around. And then we want to go north into a clearing. You're standing in a small clearing in a well-marked forest path that extends to the east and west. We want to go east. This is the canyon view. You're at the top of a great canyon on its west wall. From here, there is a marvelous view of the canyon and parts of the frigid river upstream. Across the canyon, the walls of the white cliffs join the mighty ramparts of the Flathead Mountains to the east. Following the canyon upstream to the north, S.A.G.A Falls may be seen, complete with rainbow. The mighty frigid river flows out from the great dark cavern. To the west and south can be seen an immense forest stretching for miles around. A path leads northwest. It is possible to climb down into the canyon from here. So we are going to go down. Rocky ledge. You are on a ledge about halfway up the wall to the river canyon. You can see from here that the main flow from the S.A.G.A Falls twists along a passage which it is impossible to enter. Below you is the canyon bottom. Above you is more cliff, which appears climbable. We're going to go down again. Canyon bottom. You are beneath the walls of the river canyon, which may be climbable here. The lesser part of the runoff of S.A.G.A Falls flows by below. To the north is a narrow path. We're going to go north. End of rainbow. You're on a small rocky beach on the continuation of the frigid river past the falls. The beach is narrow due to the presence of the white cliffs. The river canyon opens here and sunlight shines in from above. A rainbow crosses over the falls to the east and a narrow path continues to the southwest. Here we want to drop the coffin and then open the coffin. The gold coffin opens. A scepter, possibly that of ancient Egypt itself, is in the coffin. One end tapers to a very sharp point. The scepter is ornamented with many colors of enamel. Let's get the scepter. Taken. Now we need to wave the scepter. Suddenly, the rainbow appears to become solid and, I venture, walkable. I think the giveaway was the stairs and banister. We're going to look, for no reason other than to look. So we're at the end of the rainbow, and as you can see, it really hasn't changed much, but it says at the end of the rainbow is a pot of gold. So we want to get the coffin again. And we want to get the pot. And then we're going to head southwest. Takes us to the canyon bottom. And we're going to go up the rocky ledge and up again to the canyon view. And then we will be going northwest to the clearing. And then west, which puts us behind the house, where we enter the house, and we're going to open the bag that is on the table. Opening the brown sack reveals a lunch and a clove of garlic. Let's get the garlic. And we are going to go west. And we are going to put the coffin and scepter and pot in case. Gold coffin done, scepter done, pot of gold done. Now it is time to head back down. So we need to open the trap door. The door reluctantly opens to reveal a rickety staircase descending into the darkness. Then we light our lamp and we head down. And we are going to go north from the cellar to the troll room, where, as you can see, there's a sword and an axe here. The axe was the troll's weapon, and we're just going to leave it here. It serves us no real purpose. So now we are going to go east to the east-west passage, north to a chasm. Now a chasm runs to the southwest and the northwest, and the path follows it. You're on the south side of the chasm where a crack opens into the passage. We want to go northeast. Reservoir south. You're in a long room on the south side of a large lake, far too deep and wide for crossing. There is a path along the stream to the east or west, a steep pathway climbing southwest along the edge of a chasm, and a path leading into a canyon to the southeast. We are going to go east. You are standing on top of the flood control dam number 3, which was quite a tourist attraction in the times far distant. There are paths to the north, south, and west, and a scramble down. The sluice gates on the dam are closed. Behind the dam, there can be seen a wide reservoir. Water is pouring over the top of the now abandoned dam. There is a control panel here. There is a large metal bolt on the panel. Above the bolt is a small green plastic bubble. We are going to go north to the dam lobby. This room appears to have been the waiting room for groups touring the dam. There are exits here to the north and east marked private, though the doors are open, and an exit to the south. Some guidebooks entitled Flood Control Dam Number 3 are on the reception desk. There is a matchbook whose cover says Visit Beautiful FCD Number 3 here. Read the guidebook. Taken. Flood Control Dam Number 3. FCD Number 3 was constructed in year 783 of the Great Underground Empire to harness the mighty Frigid River. This work was supported by a grant of 37 million ZORK mids from your omnipotent Lord Tyrant, Lord Dimwit Flathead the Excessive. This impressive structure is composed of 370,000 cubic feet of concrete, is 256 feet tall at the center, and 193 feet wide at the top. The lake created behind the dam has a volume of 1.7 billion cubic feet, an area of 12 million square feet, and a shoreline of 36,000 feet. We will now point out some of the more interesting features of FCD3 as we conduct you on a guided tour of the facilities. 1. You start to notice your tour here in the dam lobby. You will notice to the right that... Let's drop the guidebook. And let's get the matches. Now we want to go north to the maintenance room. This is what appears to have been the maintenance room for Flood Control Dam Number 3. Apparently, this room has been ransacked recently, for most of the valuable equipment is gone. On the wall in front of you is a group of buttons which are labeled E, B, C, D, I, C. However, they are different colors: blue, yellow, brown, and red. The doors to this room are in the west and south ends. There is a group of tool chests here. There is a wrench here. There is an object which looks like a tube of toothpaste here. There is a screwdriver here. What we want is we want to get the screwdriver and the wrench. And then we want to push the yellow button. Click. Now we want to go south, back to the lobby, and south again. We're standing on top of the Flood Control Dam Number 3, which was quite a tourist attraction in times far distant. There are paths to the north, south, west, and scramble down. The sluice gates on the dam are now closed. Notice that they were open before. Behind the dam there can be seen a wide reservoir with water pouring over the top. There's a control panel here, a large metal bolt on the panel, and above the bolt is a small green plastic bubble, and the plastic bubble is growing. We want to turn the bolt with the wrench. The sluice gates open and water pours through the dam. So now they are open. They were closed before, they are now open. And we no longer need the wrench. So let's drop it. And then we are going to go south to a deep canyon. We are on the south edge of a deep canyon. Passages lead off to the east, northwest, and south. A stairway leads down. You can hear a loud roaring sound like that of rushing water from below. Now we want to head down. Loud room. This is a large room with a ceiling which cannot be detected from the ground. There is a narrow passage from the east to the west and a stone stairway leading upward. This room is deafeningly loud with an undetermined rushing sound. The sound seems to reverberate from all the walls, making it difficult to even think. On the ground is a large platinum bar. It is unbearably loud here with an ear-splitting roar seeming to come from all around you. There is a pounding in your head which won't stop. With a tremendous effort, you scramble out of the room. Deep canyon. Now I brought you here because this is a particularly nasty room which makes it really hard to complete the game. It's kind of random, but there's a platinum bar in here that we're going to want to get eventually. What we're going to do instead now is we're going to try to go back into that room. And this time you will see that instead of sending us back to the deep canyon, it sent us to the west to what is called the round room. On the ground is a large platinum bar. It's unbearably loud here and with an ear-splitting roar seeming to come from all around you. There's a pounding in your head which won't stop. With a tremendous effort, you scramble out of the room. We've now gone to the round room. Now we need to go to the southeast, to the engravings cave. There are old engravings on the wall. And then east back to the dome room. This is where we put the rope around the railing. And we want to climb down the rope. And this time we're going to get the torch. And since we have the torch, we do not need the lamp on. We're going to preserve the lamp as much as possible and then go south to the temple. This is where the brass bell was, and this time we're going to get the bell. And then go south again. This is the altar where we prayed, and it sent us to the forest. Instead, we're going to read the book. Commandment 1259-2. O ye who go about saying unto each, Hello, sailor. By the way, this will come in handy much later in this story. Dost thou know the magnitude of thy sin before the gods? Yea, verily, thou shalt be ground between two stones. Shall the angry gods cast thy body into the whirlpool? Surely thy eye be put out with a sharp stick. Even unto the ends of the earth shalt thou wander, and unto the land of the dead shalt thou be sent at last. Surely thou shalt repent thy cunning. Now, if we look again, the altar, you will see that there are burning candles on both ends of the altar. Now, let's get the candles. Candles are taken. And now we want to go down into a cave. This is a tiny cave with entrances west and north and dark foreboding staircase leading down. And down again. Entrance to Hades. You are outside a large gateway on which is inscribed, Abandon every hope, all ye who enter here. The gate is open. Through it you can see a desolation, with a pile of mangled bodies in one corner. Thousands of voices lamenting some hideous fate can be heard. The way through the gate is barred by evil spirits who jeer at your attempts to pass. We are now going to attempt to do something that requires an exact sequence. So we are going to ring the bell. The bell suddenly becomes red hot and falls to the ground. The wraiths, as if paralyzed, stop their jeering and slowly turn to face you. On their ashen faces, the expression of long-forgotten terror takes shape. In your confusion, the candles drop to the ground, and they are out. So we want to get the candles. Taken. Light a match. One of the matches starts to burn. Light the candles with the match. The candles are lighted. The flames flicker wildly and appear to dance. The earth beneath your feet trembles, and your legs nearly buckle beneath you. The spirits cower at your unearthly power. The match has gone out. So we need to read the book. O ye, who doth go about saying unto each, Hello, sailor, doth thou know the magnitude? We've already read this. Each word, prayer, reverberates through the hall in a deafening confusion. As the last word fades, a voice, loud and commanding, speaks, Begone, fiends! A heart-stopping scream fills the cavern, and the spirits, sensing a greater power, flee through the walls. Now we do not need the book anymore, so we are going to drop the book. And I want to point out to you one more time that if you did not do that in that exact order, it doesn't work. And if you do not get through that part, you're not going to be able to get all the treasures you need to complete the game. So we are now going to go south into the land of the dead. You have entered the land of the living dead, a large desolate room. Although it is apparently uninhabited, you can hear the sounds of thousands of lost souls weeping and moaning. In the east corner are stacked the remains of dozens of previous adventurers who were less fortunate than yourself. A passage exits to the north. Lying in one corner of the room is a beautifully carved crystal skull. It appears to be grinning at you rather nastily. So we are going to get the skull. And then we want to get back out of here. And to do that, we go north to the entrance of Hades. There's the black book and the red hot bell here. We do not pick either of those up. Instead, we are going to go up to the cave, and then we are going to go north, which is the mirror room, in a large square room with tall ceiling. On the south wall is an enormous mirror which fills the entire wall. There are exits on the other three sides of the room. And since we no longer need them, we will extinguish the candles. And then we are going to rub the mirror. There is a rumble from deep within the earth, and the room shakes. Now let's go north to the cold passage. This is a cold and damp corridor where a long east-west passageway turns into a southward path. And then we go west to the slide room. This is a small chamber which appears to have been part of a coal mine. On the south wall of the chamber, the letters Granite Wall are etched into the rock. To the east is a long passage, and there is a steep metal slide twisting downward. To the north is a small opening. We are going to go north to the mine entrance. You are standing at the entrance of what might have been a coal mine. The shaft enters the west wall, and there is another exit on the south end of the room. Now let's head west. Squeaky room. You're in a small room. Strange squeaky sounds may be heard coming from the passage at the north end. You may also escape to the east. We're going to head north because we came from the east. Bat room. You're in a small room which has doors only to the east and south. In the corner of the room on the ceiling is a large vampire bat who is obviously deranged and holding his nose. There's an exquisite jade figurine here. Now, if we had not picked up the garlic before, he would not be holding his nose. That is why we picked up the garlic. And then we go east to the shaft room. This is a large room in the middle of which is a small shaft descending through the floor into darkness below. To the west and north are exits from this room. Constructed over the top of the shaft is a metal framework to which a heavy iron chain is attached. At the end of the chain is a basket. We want to put the torch in the basket. It's because where we're going, the torch being in our inventory is exceptionally dangerous. Done. And now we need the lamp. So we will light the lamp, and then we will go north into the smelly room. This is a small nondescript room. However, from the direction of a small descending staircase, a foul odor can be detected. To the south is a narrow tunnel. That smell is gas. Very bad. Boom. Dead. So we're not going to be boom dead. We're going to instead go down because we have an electric lamp. And here is the gas room. This is a small room which smells strongly of coal gas. There is a short climb up some stairs and a narrow tunnel leading east. There is a sapphire-encrusted bracelet here. A bracelet which we are going to leave alone for now. So we are going to go east from here to the coal mine. This is a nondescript part of the coal mine. Then we're going to go northeast into a maze. Coal mine is a nondescript part of the coal mine. We will go southeast, still in the nondescript part of the coal mine, southwest, and then down. This is the ladder top. This is a very small room. In the corner is a rickety wooden ladder leading downward. It might be safe to descend. There is also a staircase leading upward. So we want to go down some more to the ladder bottom. This is a rather wide room. On one side is the bottom of a narrow wooden ladder. To the west and south are passages leading the room. Now we want to go south to a dead end. You have come to a dead end in the mine. There is a small pile of coal here. We want to get the coal. And then we go north, which is the direction we came from, and we want to go up the ladder until we get to the ladder top. So we are now in the coal mine. Now we go north. We're going to leave the sword alone, and then we go east, and then we go south, and then we go north, and then we head up to the smelly room and south. At the end of the chain is a basket. The basket contains a torch. And we are going to put the coal and the screwdriver in the basket. And then we want to lower the basket. And now we are going to go north again to the smelly room, and then we're going to go down to the gas room. And here we go east in the coal mine, northeast again, and we go southeast again, and then we need to go southwest, down, down. You see we're following the same path we were doing before, west. And this is a timber room. This is a long and narrow passage which is cluttered with broken timbers. A wide passage comes from the east and turns to the west of the room into a very narrow passageway. From the west comes a strong draft. There is a broken timber here. And now we want to drop everything we're carrying. So we'll drop all. And then we need to go west. This is a small drafty room in which the bottom of a long shaft. To the south is a passageway, and to the east is a very narrow passage. In the shaft can be seen a heavy iron chain. At the end of the chain is a basket. The basket contains a screwdriver, a small pile of coal, and a torch. So let's get the screwdriver, the torch, and the coal. We have taken them all, and now we are going to go south to the machine room. This is a large room which seems to be air-conditioned. In one corner of the room, there is a machine, which is shaped somewhat like a clothes dryer. On the panel, there is a switch which is labeled in a dialect of Swahili. Fortunately, I know this dialect, and the label translates to start. The switch does not appear to be manipulable by any human hand unless the fingers are about 1/16 by 1/4 inch. On the front of the machine is a large lid which is closed. We want to open the lid. And then we want to put the coal in the machine. Close the lid. And then we turn the switch with the screwdriver. The machine comes to life, figuratively, and with a dazzling display of colored lights and bizarre noises. After a few moments, the excitement abates. So let's open lid. The lid opens, revealing a huge diamond. Get the diamond. We do not need the screwdriver anymore, so we will drop it, and then we'll go north, and we are going to put the torch and the diamond in the basket. And we are going to go east. Get the skull, the lamp, and the garlic. Now let's go to the east, which puts us at the ladder bottom, and we need to go through the coal mine, which means we have to go up, north, east, south, north. And we are back at the gas room. And this time we get the bracelet. And now we go up again to the smelly room and south to the shaft room, and we want to raise the basket, and we want to get the torch and the diamond, and then extinguish our lamp. The lamp is now off, since we are using the light from the torch, obviously. Now we go west, and we get the figurine, and then we go south to the squeaky room, east to the mine entrance, south again to the slide room. And let's look while we are here, and you'll see this is the slide room. Is a small chamber, and you will see this is a small chamber which appears to have been part of a coal mine. On the south wall of the chamber, the letters granite wall are etched into the rock. To the east is a long passageway, and there's a steep metal slide twisting downward. To the north is a small opening. We want to go down, and we've taken the slide and we're in the cellar, and if we go up, we're in the living room. And here we're going to put the items we've picked up into the case. So let's go ahead and put the diamond, the figurine, the bracelet, and the torch in the case. And let's check our inventory, make sure we're not missing anything. Let's not put the crystal skull in at the moment. Instead, though, we're going to drop the garlic because we do not need the garlic anymore. And now we are going to continue. We're going to light our lamp. And then we're going to go down into the cellar, north into the troll room, where we then go east into the east-west passage, north again to the chasm, northeast to Reservoir South. You're in a long room to the north of which was formerly a lake. However, with the water level lowered, there is merely a wide stream running through the center of the room. There is a path along the stream to the east or west, a steep pathway climbing southwest along the edge of a chasm, and a path leading into the canyon to the southwest. So let's go north. Reservoir. You are on what used to be a large lake but now is a large mud pile. There are shores to the north and south. Lying half buried in the mud is an old trunk bulging with jewels. Let's get the trunk. Then we are going to go north. Reservoir north. You are in a large cavernous room, to the south of which was formerly a lake. However, with the water level lowered, there is merely a wide stream running through there. There is a slimy stairway leaving the room to the north. There is a handheld air pump here. Let's get the pump. And then we go north again to the Atlantis room. This is an ancient room, long underwater. There is an exit to the south and a staircase leading up. On the shore lies Poseidon's own crystal trident. Why? Why did he leave it there? I mean, I'm happy to have it, but why would he leave it? Taken. Now we want to go south, and south again, and south again, and then we go east to the dam, east again. We're at the dam base. You're at the base of flood control dam number 3, which looms above you and to the north. The river, frigid, is flowing by here. Along the river are the white cliffs which seem to form giant walls stretching from north to south along the shores of the river as it winds its way downstream. There is a folded pile of plastic here, which has a small valve attached. This is a boat, and we are going to inflate the boat with the pump. The boat inflates and appears seaworthy. A tan label is lying inside the boat. Let's read the label. Frobah's Magic Boat Company. Hello, sailor. Instructions for use. To get into a body of water, say launch. To get to a shore, say land or an appropriate direction. Warranty. This boat is guaranteed against all defects in parts and workmanship for a period of 76 milliseconds from date of purchase or until first use, whichever comes first. Warning, this boat is made of plastic. Good luck. Let's drop the label. Then we want to get in the boat. We are now in the magic boat and launch the boat. You are in the magic boat. You are on the frigid river in the vicinity of the dam. The river flows quietly here. There is a landing on the west shore. And now we need to literally wait. And wait again. And continue to wait. We are floating along the river. The flow of the river carries you downstream. Frigid river. You are in a magic boat. The river turns a corner here, making it impossible to see the dam. The white cliffs loom on the east bank, and large rocks prevent a landing on the west. Wait again. Time passes. Wait some more. And we just keep waiting. Time passes. The flow of the river carries you downstream. Frigid river. You are in the magic boat. The river descends here into a valley. There is a narrow beach on the west shore below the cliffs. In the distance, a faint rumbling can be heard. This is not good. But we need to wait. We need to keep waiting. The rumbling, by the way, is obviously a waterfall. Time passes. The flow of the river carries you downstream. Frigid river. You're in a magic boat. The river is running faster here, and the sound ahead appears to be that of rushing water. On the east shore is a sandy beach, and a small area of beach can also be seen below the cliffs to the west shore. There is a red buoy here, probably a warning, outside the magic boat. Let's get the buoy. Taken. You notice something funny about the feel of the buoy. Let's get to the beach. So we go east. We are on a sandy beach. We're in the magic boat. You're on a large sandy beach on the east shore of the river, which is flowing quickly by. A path runs beside the river to the south here, and a passage is particularly buried in the sand to the northeast. There is a shovel here. Let's get out of the boat. We're on our own feet again, and get the shovel. Your load is too heavy. Let's drop the air pump. Our load is still too heavy. Maybe I should have dropped the crystal skull in the case. I could not remember if it was necessary later or not. Let's see if we can open the buoy now. Let's get the emerald. Drop the buoy. Get the shovel. Now we have the shovel, and we want to go northeast to the sandy cave. This is a sand-filled cave whose exit is to the southwest. And now we dig in the sand with the shovel. Seem to be digging a hole here. It is possible for this to collapse on us. Let's hope it does not. What we are going to do is we are going to show you one of the ZORK commands. Again. This repeats the previous command. Now we've got our way to the scarab that we wanted. This is what we were after. So we get the scarab. The load is too heavy. Drop the shovel. And get the scarab. Something you will notice in playing an Infocom game is, unlike other games that we've played in the past where your inventory items are rated by the number of items you can carry, Infocom items each have their own individual weight assigned to them. So you cannot just drop a feather in order to pick up something like a tank, but you can drop a tank to pick up a feather and a cup and a shovel and a bunch of other items because the individual weights are accounted for. And I think this is one of the great advantages and advancements that Infocom made in their writing of games. Now let's go and head southwest. And we want to just see if we can get the pump again. See how we've got the pump now, which is probably not something we're going to need again, but I'm perfectly happy to bring it along for now. And let's head south to the shore. You're on the east shore of the river. The stream here seems somewhat treacherous. A path travels from north to south here, the south end quickly turning around a sharp corner. Let's go south again. S.A.G.A Falls. You are at the top of S.A.G.A Falls, an enormous waterfall with a drop of about 450 feet. The only path here is on the north end. A solid rainbow spans the falls. And now we need to cross the rainbow. And let's extinguish our lamp. And go southwest to the canyon bottom, and then we're going to go up to the canyon view, and then we go northwest to the clearing, west to behind the house, and then we are going to enter the window. So we are now in the kitchen, and we're going to go west into the living room. And here we want to put the scarab, the emerald, the chest, and the trident in the case. And let's have a look at our inventory now. We're going to keep the skull. I do not know why. Something just wants me to hang on to the skull. But we will drop the air pump here. If we need it later, we can get it later. We'll know exactly where we left it. So let's go ahead and head east into the kitchen. And then we're going to head east again, which takes us behind the house. We're going to go north of house, facing the north side of the White House. There is no door here, and all windows are boarded up. To the north, a narrow path winds through the trees. We're going to go north again. Forest path. So winding through the dimly lit forest, the path heads north-south here. One particularly large tree with some low branches stands at the edge of the path. We're going to climb up the tree. You are about 10 feet above the ground, nestled among some large branches. The nearest branch above you is above your reach. Beside you on the branch is a small bird's nest. In the bird's nest is a large egg encrusted with precious jewels, apparently scavenged somewhere by a childless songbird. The egg is covered with fine gold inlay and ornamental lapis lazuli and mother of pearl. Unlike most eggs, this one is hinged and has a delicate-looking clasp holding it closed. The egg appears extremely fragile. Now we want to get this egg, but we're unable to open it. Instead, we have to rely on one of the other creatures in ZORK to open it for us. So let's climb down, back to the forest path. Then we will go south to north of the house, and then we will head east to behind the house. We'll enter the window, and then head west again. And here we are going to go find ourselves a thief. To do that, we are going to light our lamp. And then we're going to go down. And then we will go north. And then go west into the maze. And here we go south. And then we go east. And then we go up. A skeleton, probably the remains of a luckless adventurer, lies here. Beside the skeleton is a rusty knife. The deceased adventurer's useless lantern is here. There's a skeleton key here. An old leather bag bulging with coins is here. So let's get the bag and the key. And then we go southwest. We go east, south, and southeast to the Cyclops room. This room has an exit to the northwest and a staircase leading up. A Cyclops, who looks prepared to eat horses, much less adventurers, blocks the staircase. From his state of health and the bloodstains on the walls, you gather that he's not very friendly, though he likes people. There's many different things we can do here, but since we learned in Mini ZORK that we can say a word that his ancestors are terrified of, we will say Ulysses. The Cyclops, hearing the name of his father's deadly nemesis, flees the room by knocking down a wall on the east of the room. So let's go up. You hear the scream of anguish as you violate the robber's hideaway. Using passages unknown to you, he rushes to its defense. The thief gestures mysteriously, and the treasures in the room suddenly vanish. Treasure room. This is a large room whose east wall is solid granite. A number of discarded bags, which crumble at your touch, are scattered about the floor. There's an exit down a staircase. There's a suspicious-looking individual holding a bag leaning against one wall. He's armed with a deadly stiletto. There's a silver chalice intricately engraved here. You parry a lightning thrust, and the thief salutes you with a grim nod. If we want to survive this thief, we need to distract him. And to distract him, we're going to give the egg to the thief. The thief is taken aback by your unexpected generosity, but accepts the jewel-encrusted egg and stops to admire its beauty. Now let's get out of here, and we will come back. We'll go down the Cyclops room, east to the strange passage. We're going to go east again, and that puts us in the living room. That is where the Cyclops burst through the wall. And we want to go east again. We want to get the knife. We want to go west. Now before we continue, let's check our inventory. You see we're carrying a bag of coins. We want to put the bag of coins in the case. Done. Now let's go west to the strange passage, west again to the Cyclops room, and go up. And we are now with the thief. You hear a scream of anguish. We've read all that. The thief gestures mysteriously. We've read all that. He's a suspicious individual holding a bag, leaning against the wall, armed with a deadly stiletto. There's the silver chalice. We've read all of that. The lamp appears a bit dimmer. Our lamp is starting to lose power. So we want to kill the thief with the knife. Slash, your stroke connects. This could be serious. The thief stabs nonchalantly with his stiletto and misses. Again. Good stroke, but too slow. Again. The thief is knocked out. And we want to make sure he is dead. So the unconscious thief cannot defend himself. He dies. Almost as soon as the thief breathes his last breath, a cloud of sinister black fog envelops him, and when the fog lifts, the carcass has disappeared. As the thief dies, the power of his magic decreases, and his treasures reappear. A stiletto, a jewel-encrusted egg with a golden clockwork canary, and the chalice is now safe to take. So let's get everything. And then we need to go down. We want to go northwest. We're into the maze again. And we go south, west, up, down, and northeast. This is the grating room. You're in a small room near the maze. There are twisty passages in the immediate vicinity. Above you is a grating locked with a skull and crossbones lock. Let's unlock the grate. And then open the grate. Watch out for falling leaves. A pile of leaves falls onto your head, onto the ground. And then we are going to go up into the clearing with forests surrounding us on all sides. And we are going to go south, climb the tree, beside you on the branch is a small bird's nest. You hear in the distance the chirping of a songbird. We want to wind up the canary. The canary chirps slightly off-key, an aria from a forgotten opera. From out of the greenery flies a lovely songbird. It perches on the limb just over your head and opens its beak to sing. As it does so, a beautiful brass bauble drops from his mouth, bounces off the top of your head, and lands glimmering in the grass. As the canary winds down, the songbird flies away. Climb down. Get the bauble. You hear in the distance the chirping of a songbird. So we go back to the house. So north of the house here, and then we go east, which puts us behind the house, and then we enter the window. So we're in the kitchen. We go west. And here we need to offload some of the items we're carrying. And we put the bauble and the stiletto in the case. So put and then we need to remove the canary from the egg. Put the canary and the egg in the case. Then we go down north to the troll room, and then we go east until we get to the loud room. And here we say the word echo. The acoustics of the room change subtly. On the ground is a large platinum bar. Let's get the bar. And then we are going to go west. And we continue going west until we get to the troll room, where we go south to the cellar and then back up. And we put all except the lamp in the case. An almost inaudible voice whispers in your ear, "Look to your treasures for the final secret." So let's look again. You're in the living room. There is a door to the east. To the west is a cyclops-shaped hole in an old wooden door, above which is some strange Gothic lettering, a trophy case, and a rug lying beside an open trap door. There's a hand-held air pump here. There's a clove of garlic here. In the trophy case is an ancient parchment which appears to be a map. That's new. That is looking to our treasures in the trophy case. That's a whole list of our treasures. So let's get the map taken. And then we need to go east into the kitchen, east again to behind the house. We go south and then west. And this is west of the house. This is where we started. We want to read the map. The map shows the area around the White House, including the forest, the canyon, and the mountains. There are 3 paths leaving the large clearing containing the house and 2 smaller clearings to the north and east. We want to go to the southwest. Stone barrow. You are standing in front of a massive barrow of stone. In the east face is a huge stone which is open. You cannot see into the dark of the tomb. Let's go west. Into the barrow. As you enter the barrow, the door closes inexorably behind you. Around you, it is dark, but ahead is an enormous cavern brightly lit. Through its center runs a wide stream. Spanning the stream is a small wooden footbridge, and beyond a path leads into a dark tunnel. Above the bridge, floating in the air, is a large sign. It reads, "All ye who stand before this bridge have completed a great and perilous adventure which has tested your wit and courage. You have mastered ZORK, the great underground empire." Your score would be 350, total of 350 points in 354 moves. This score gives you the rank of Master Adventurer. And that was ZORK 1, or, as it is better known, ZORK the Underground Empire, on the TRS-80 Model 1. Overall, I think we did pretty well, considering how long it's been since the original completion, and now. In comparison to Mini ZORK, this game is so much more broad in scope, with many more treasures, puzzles, and just things to do. However, I'm going to stand on my previous statement. Finishing Mini ZORK is just as good in the overall scheme of things. As you will see when we do ZORK 2 in the near future, it will all come together either way. In fact, in the end, the only connection we will find is that ZORK 2 picks up in the burrow, where ZORK 1 ends, with a lamp and a sword nearby. Now, is this game worth all that in a bag of potato chips? In other words, has it held up to the test of time? If I were to answer that in absolute terms, I would have to say it's a definite maybe. It would depend on the player and if they can handle a game without flashy 60 frame per second graphics where they run around killing each other for loot boxes. But when I compare it in relative terms to the games we've done together already, I think ZORK is the one so far that holds up the best. The writing, the humor, the puzzles, the game as a whole is just as challenging. No, just as great of a game today as it was 30 plus years ago. In many ways, I would say, maybe even more so due to the way it has permeated our social consciousness and still sets the standard for games of its type. In the way many, if not most, fantasy games today can be traced back to Tolkien's writings, many, if not most, adventure and role-playing games can trace their heritage back to ZORK. Now, I want to stress at this point that I did not show you everything in the game. I'm not even sure I found all of the things ZORK has to offer, and I spent months working on it. It's just that grand in scope, and I highly encourage you, a potential player, to pick up this game and give it your own go. See what you can find that I did not, and share it with me so that I can once more be humbled by others who share my interests. And if you can, share this with others. Show them what a grand game ZORK was. Do it right after you like and or subscribe, and while you're at it, leave me a comment. Tell me something about ZORK or any other game that you think I should know or should have included. You can even give me a request. This was a request, and though it took a long time to get around to it, I finally have started the long path to ZORKing around. Not only that, I ask you sincerely, be kind, be safe, and I look forward to our next adventure together.